Welcome to Rappler Talk. I'm Pia Renada, Malacanang reporter of Rappler.com, and I'm here today with Undersecretary Joel Ego, who is the head of the Presidential Task Force on Media Security. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. And we're just here to talk about many issues which are coming up, especially the anniversary of the Maguindanao Massacre on Thursday. So it's the 8th anniversary. And we just want to ask off the bat, what are the current updates with the case?
All right. We just had our regular meeting last Friday, and our main agenda was about the Maguindanao Massacre. So we asked the DOJ prosecution panel to update us, to give us updates. And also during the regular meeting, we resolved the task force sitting as an interagency body, including our media observers and resource persons. We resolved to urgently do 4 things. Number 1 is for speedier trial, and number 2, partial judgment. Number 3 is to move for the arrest of 82 suspects who are still at large. And number 4, of course, is to end impunity against all victims of similar crimes, not only journalists. Kasi may mga, there were 26 others who were not members of the media, so out of the 58 victims. Right now, we have the total number of accused originally stood at 197, but right now, it was reduced to 188 because 4 of the original accused were discharged from the information to become state witness. So, and 1, there was a motion to dismiss in view of the death of the accused. And there were 4 demurrers to evidence, meaning they were acquitted. So, we have now 188 accused. And we have already terminated the presentation of 190 witnesses for the prosecution. And right now, the defense, they have presented 63 witnesses. And out of the total number of the accused, 22 have terminated the presentation of evidence.
Sir, this means in layman's terms that the evidence has been explained to the court. Can you explain in layman's terms what this means when you terminate evidence?
When you, it's like when you terminate the presentation of evidence for, termination of presentations of witnesses, for instance, all 190 of them, it means that, well, it's done with already. We have presented all the evidence against you, and now it's the turn of the defense to present their own witnesses to rebut. But of course, they will also be cross-examined by the prosecution. So that's the status now. And out of the number of the accused, there are 22 who terminated the presentation of evidence already. Out of the 22, 13 of them submitted for decision, meaning they're asking the court now to decide on the case. 13. But this month, the prosecution will move, will file a memorandum, I think to render judgment also for 2 accused ampatuans.
Can you also explain the 2 accused and what their roles are in the massacre?
Yeah. We have 18 principal ampatuan accused here. So the 2 ampatuans who are the subject of the memorandum this month are among them. So they are Ahmad Tato Ampatuan Sr. and Anwar Ampatuan Sr. So these 2 ampatuans are included in the 22 who terminated the presentation of evidence already. So I think the prosecution saw it fit that we have to file memorandum and render judgment on the case of the two Ampatuans here.
Given the state of affairs, how soon can the public then expect an actual judgment be brought down upon at least these two?
These two, if you're going to, well, it depends on the wisdom of the judge, of course, no. But what is important is that we are already moving well, we are filing memorandum for the judge to render judgment on the two already. How fast? Well, we cannot really say how fast or how slow or whatever, because it's purely a court matter. So we cannot jump the gun on the judge on this particular issue. But we expect it, of course. Our best guess is probably within the first quarter or second probably of the next year. I don't know, no, but it depends on the decision of Judge Hollis.
Last year, sir, some of the families of the victims wanted an audience with the president.
All right.
This time around, do you think that a meeting might be set up between the president and the family?
It was brought up during the task force meeting. In fact, it was the CMFR, the representative of the Center for Media Freedom of Responsibility, if I'm not mistaken, who reminded us about that meeting. No, but this time they wanted to see Justice Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre. So we're trying to arrange it with the secretary if he can accommodate the request of the families of the victims. That will be, I think tomorrow, Congressman Maguindanao will deliver privilege speech on the case.
Okay. Have you ever spoken to the president about the Maguindanao Massacre? What are his views on this?
To be honest, not yet. We haven't spoken about it. So because the instruction given to me was just to do what is right, no? Do what you have to do. That's it. So I'm doing everything by the book and by the letter. The task force's primary role in the Maguindanao Massacre case is actually to monitor, no? To monitor and to find out if there would be problems, no, that need to be addressed immediately by the body, because there's a danger here. Remember that we have 58 victims. Our mandate only involves media workers. There are 32. So the problem is that if we take away the 32 from the 58 and focus on the 32 only, messing up just one case would mess up all the others, the 58. So we decided as a body to just really monitor, and monthly we get updates from the DOJ panel. So right now we get, that's why we got all this data.
So, sir, given the 8th year is coming up, what would be the message of the Duterte administration with regards to the massacre and in general to media, protecting media from threats?
Well, as promised by the president during his first HONA, this government does not condone violence and repression of media, and that's what we are doing now through the task force, through me as executive director. We act promptly on complaints, on requests for assistance, on incidents of actual killings, no, or frustrated killings. So we are, our hands are full with various cases of threats and violence against media workers, no. But addressing them is just, well, one part of the of solving the problem. This is a very complex problem that involves a lot of factors. So, but in terms of security, that's where we come in. Well, that's it.
So, sir, the administrative order which created your task force was signed last year, October.
October
So
11, yeah.
it's already a year since the creation of your task force. What have you accomplished within 1 year?
Yeah. Well, number one, as early as our first month in existence, actually, not in office, because it was only after 14 years that we got an office that we can call our own, no? But during our first month, no, November, we already submitted an inventory to the president. That's the first, the most difficult part was determining which cases to handle. Because for the longest time, data of government and data from private media, they varied. No, there were huge discrepancies when it comes to actual number of killings of media workers were killed in the line of duty. So when we sat together, we came up with I think that time 159. Ngayon, now the problem again was that many of those cases were just names. So we needed to get case folders of each and every case. So that's where we started. And while we were gathering those data, there came incidents of shootings na rin, no? Larry Kay was killed, and we had to act on those cases, on the new cases that came in, no, after AO1. So we have right now 82 names that we're still reconstituting, no, the case records. So we sent out letters to local police officials, local prosecutors, to give us whatever data they have on those names, because we only have folders eh. Dahil nga before, I think less than 100 lang ang nasa records ng previous task forces like USIG, like task force on AO35. But when we came in, let's get all those cases together, and let's act on them. So that's where we are right now. We're still trying to piece together case records from folders that we have. Only names. Nobody could give us data on, halimbawa, for instance, Juan de la Cruz, a victim of killing in this particular province. When we investigated, walang maibigay. Okay, you gave us a name. Where are the records? None. So we have to go back.
So, sir, you're handling 82 cases in total. That's killings and threats.
No,
Could you give us the
82
total?
cases, no folders, no
Okay.
records. So we're reconstituting the records. In total, we're handling cases of killings, 163. 163. So less 82, that gives us a number of cases that are actively on our file.
Okay. Sir, just on the killings, would you, since you've been looking at the records, these cases, what can you say about a majority of them? Is there a pattern? Like who are the kinds of journalists who usually get targeted for attacks like this? Where do they come from?
Mostly,
beats?
they reported on politics and corruption. Those are the two biggest issues that they reported on. No, corruption also. For instance, in the case of Larry Kay, he reported about the big Shabu laboratory in Catanduanes. No, and he was very critical of certain officials there. So that's why we declared that his case is media related. No, so well, corruption and politics, a lot, no, a lot.
Usually, what are the methods by which they're killed, the journalists?
Shot, usually, shot. No, they were ambushed, And I think to expound on the matter, from what I learned as I went around, no, the country, because I personally visited, I personally went down to the site where a particular victim was killed. So I get to talk with witnesses there. I get to talk with the families, the friends, and I think for me there are three levels of risks that journalist faces. No, the first level, which is actually risky, is when you do your duty. That's number one. Your duty being a journalist, you're critical of whoever, whatever. No, that's risky already. And number two, when your duty becomes your advocacy. No, when you become an advocate of anti-drugs, for instance, an anti-drug advocate, so that puts you to a higher risk, but that's not the highest. The highest risk is being a crusader. When you cross over from reporting to crusading, that's very dangerous. It's like instead of just writing or reporting about a particular corrupt practices of a certain official, you go out, run against him in the elections, or you go out and file a case against him in the ombudsman or any court of law. So that's crusade already. You know, crusade, but may dala ka espada, nakipag-away ka na, frontal na yung labanan nyo. So you're no longer reporting. That's yung many cases, no?
So you're saying a majority of the cases you've been seeing are journalists who have, from just writing about the incident, they've crossed over to, as you said, inangkin na nila yung advocacy against that certain
it's like
politician.
Reporting itself is risky for us, no? I've had a number of libel cases already as a journalist. I was targeted for assassination also in 2008 because of something I wrote. Risky na agad yun eh. Hindi ko pa advocacy and crusade yun. The more na if ever I go out of, I cross over from being a reporter to running a position against the mayor or something like that, that's more dangerous. So there are cases actually that we're handling na nag-overlap. Like for instance, there was a radio man who was killed, no? But when we investigated, he tackled only showbiz in the locality. Showbiz. How come a showbiz reporter would be killed by anyone? But ganon. And then we found out that he was a councilor.
So it was actually politics.
It's politics already. So yung crossover, yun yung nakikita namin isang problema.
So a majority of these cases, have they been resolved? Has anyone been convicted for killing these journalists?
We have records of convictions. I'll check. I'll double check. But I think we have.
Would you say a majority of these cases?
Not majority pa. Imagine, Maguindanao Massacre nga lang, wala pa. I mean, but we're expecting, no? We're expecting na within the administration of President Rodrigo Duterte, we'll see convictions already, or finally end the Maguindanao Massacre trial.
Sir, how would you address concerns that the president himself has been accused of masterminding the deaths of certain journalists, like si June Pala in Davao City?
Well, when who's that? Las Cañas was when he appeared before the Senate and he talked about it. I went to the PNP, no? I went to the Philippine National Police, DIDM, the Director of Investigation Detective Management, and I was talking to the chief of the DIDM. So I told him, why can't we arrest that guy already? Because he admitted that he was part of the June Pala killing, etc., etc. And iba kasi yung sinasabi niya, admit niya, iba yung sinasabi rin niya na part si President Duterte. Diba? Those are entirely two different things. And where is he now? he's now the subject of a warrant of arrest, if I'm not mistaken. And then, nawala siya, I don't know.
So,
And for me, the greatest indication that he cares for us is the signing of EO2, FOI, and this task force nga. Insofar as those two orders are concerned, that's all I can base. It's where I can base my assumption.
how about, sir, yung previous statements of the president about the press, that he would often rant against them or attack them on his podium during public speeches? Some media would consider this as a form of harassment. I think some people even said that there was even a point before his presidency where he was saying that if a journalist is corrupt, then he deserves to be killed. There were some interpretations of his statement.
Well, parang ako din minsan ganun magsulat pagka, di ba? If you threaten my daughter, if you threaten my son, I would kill you. I personally look at the president as a father. No, I understand where he's coming from. When he's angry, when he cares so much for somebody, and you threaten that somebody. Sabi ko nga he was being criticized for pagmumura, so much pagmumura. You know, in Nueva Ecija, mas grabe kami magmura. As in. Grabe. So, naintindihan ko, he's just expressing his sentiments, no? For me, he should be looked upon as somebody who's free to say whatever he's thinking of. He speaks his mind, he expresses himself without kaplastikan, binan natin, no? Just like me, I say what I feel, I say what I think. Yun. Otherwise, I would not have joined this government.
So you're saying that the media shouldn't take his threats, his insults to media as a serious threat. It's really just his way of speaking?
I had been insulted so many times by my fellow journalists, and it's okay for me. I had been insulted by so many people already. So, it's okay. Insults, they're part of our daily lives. As in, grabe. But for me nga, what is important is that he signed an order to protect all media workers in the Philippines, no? Both local and foreign. So that's most important for me.
Okay.
Parang ako, pag galit din ako sa fellow media man, hindi ko naman sasabing, sasaktan kita. In fact, pag binanatan ako, it's okay, that's, okay lang yan . You know what I mean, di ba? Binabanatan din naman ako. But, I take it as it is. Ganun lang yon. Wag lang yung sasabihin mo na papatayin kita. Gagalit talaga ako.
Going on to that, sir, kasi right now we're faced with another environment where the media and netizens, citizens in general, can now converse online. So there's been now a surge of online harassment, not just to media but also to citizens when they comment on a certain issue.
The rise of the fifth estate.
Yeah, but in general, sir, anyone gets affected by so-called trolling or by attacks on online, on social media. So, sir, how does the task force view online harassment?
Harassment against who?
Media, since we're talking about the task
okay.
force.
Well, as Secretary Andanar puts it, no, all threats in any form, they are threats, no. All they have to do is to come to me, file a complaint, lodge a complaint, and we will act on it. Maybe I should cite the case, for example, of Joseph Morong. Joseph Morong na lang. Grabe, 'di ba? You know what I did? Hindi na dinaan sa kwan eh. There are 1,000 ways to skin a cat meaning yung case na to, for instance, hindi ko na kailangan pahabain to. I can deal with the person who threatened Joseph directly. So I PM the guy, I forgot the name. So I told him na ganito, under AO1, I can hold you, I can run after you for threatening Joseph. And I was on the phone with Joseph, and I told him, kung gusto mo tuloy natin to talaga, file a complaint before my office and action na natin yan. Since then, nawala yung threat, no?
Did Joseph file a case?
Actually, he did not. Pero nawala na eh. So, I don't know kung ano yung, but I PM the guy. In fact, I posted my PM dun sa Facebook wall ko. And there was another case, no? A female journalist covering a house. She felt threatened by a lady lawmaker also because she was suspected of, being the informant yung sino ni Arnold Labio. Oh, kasi nasa lubong daw niya sa restroom. Na siya lang yung nasa lubong nung lawmaker. So immediately siya yung suspect. Tinext, ang daming nag-text sa kanya na tinetreaten na siya kasi lobas na. Ang nasolve ko yon saglit lang. I asked Arnold to clarify. So I called up Arnold. Was this lady reporter your source? Sabi niya, no. Sabi ko, pare, baka pwede paki-clarify. On air also. Even without mentioning the name. Kasi imbisigahan ko pa rin imbisigahan. So, Mr. Clavio did. So, and then the threat stopped.
How would you define online threats, online harassment, officially as the task force, under the task force?
No, there's no definition. Kasi when AO1 was written, no, ano yun open yung basta threaten ka eh. Only you yourself would know if you're being threatened. Who knows, parang pag kami magkakaibigan, may nagmumura sa akin eh. Halimbawa, diba? Minumura ko, PI ka. Pero actually, we were just joking, no? So, kung literally, some people might construe that as me being threatened by this guy when in fact, we were just, ganon kami. I have a lot of friends and we talk like that. So, hindi naman threat for me yun. It was a joke. However, alam ko rin yung threat sa akin. So, yung tao mismo ang makakaalam when he or she is under threat.
So they're the ones who will define for themselves what it means for them to be threatened?
Yeah. Kasi parang, yun na nga, like, ako, minura niya, ang tingin mo, being threatened ako. When in fact, di pala. Until sabihin ko, Pia, I'm being threatened by this guy.
So what's the step by which media can avail of protection from the task force?
Oh, yeah. All you have to do is ask. Anybody who feels threatened by anybody, no? In fact, we have a lot of requests right now.
May hotline po ba kayo in your...
Yan. Bago lang ang office. I personally applied for a hotline kasi local tayo eh. Pag nag-dial ka, magdadaan ka pa ng local sa Malacanang. So I applied for a direct line na. So yun yung hotline. In fact, kita mo naman, binubuo pa lang natin unti-unti yung office, no? At least hindi na kami sa ilalim ng puno nagmi-meeting. Meron na tayong office. Nagkalat pa, wala pa yung telepono, wala pa kami internet connection.
Pero sir, how soon can we have this hotline? So,
as soon. Actually, pina-follow up ko ngayon. We followed it up with PLDT na a while ago. Kasi ang tagal, kasi kailangan talaga yung hotline. And then after na may hotline, we will announce it publicly. Ganun ang gagawin natin.
Have you received complaints about online harassment and online threats?
Online harassments and threats officially. Wait, Merong mga text, online harassment. Puro complaint na, like ngayon kay Joseph and puro
personal.
Oo. So what we're asking now from our colleagues is that when filing a complaint, no, we have a form here, a complaint form that they have to fill up para mas official. Para mas official yung natin, yung galaw natin kasi wala akong basis eh. It's like we're soliciting na lang cases from all over, ayaw natin mangyari yun.
So, have you received backlash for acting on these complaints? Like for the case of Joseph, I think there were some bloggers who made
naman. Parang, ang in-explain naman natin is that kung akala nitong yung ganito, andito ko si AO1. I'm just implementing AO1 by the letter. So I work by the book. And yun na lang, may nire-refine pa natin syempre, no? So we have besides the administrative order 1 itself, we have an operational guidelines that we follow. So yun ang pandyan, madaming mga rikititos
Would you say, sir, that the environment online has changed under the Duterte administration, given that there are a lot of passionate supporters who are online and who also tend to attack certain critics of the president?
I think it's a global phenomenon.
Yes, but also in the Philippines.
Yeah, but look at Syria before, yung Arab Spring, yan, di ba? Grabe yun. I mean, it started sa online campaign nila and all that. And look at what happened. Syria, sa Iraq, lumaki. So, it's a global happening and we have to live with it. I'm being bashed every day also. I'm being bashed every day.
So why are you being bashed?
Huh?
Why are you being bashed?
Well, all sort of things I don't know, siguro, others probably siguro, like there's this columnist who wrote something against me. Kasi yun nga, sabi ko, because they fail to ask. So they have to ask. I can give them whatever data or information they need or they want, no? Iba-iba, all sort, alam mo naman, it's an open, source. There are people who might praise you on social media, others won't, no? Diba? Others would criticize you, but it's okay for me.
Sir, okay, even threats like rape threats against women who are critics of the president, many have received rape threats
coming from
mga
netizens.
Yes.
Okay. So ako naman, if for instance my daughter was threatened by any netizen, no, of rape, no, sabihin, Missy Egg ko, I will rape you because your daddy is ganto ganyan. Hanapin kita. I mean, kakasuhan kita. So it is incumbent upon the subject, the target, no. So it's up to them actually. Parang if somebody would tell me, Mr. Egg ko, I'll kill you, o ibang usapan yan.
But do you agree that it's a worrying trend to have these threats online?
Yeah, but who would tell them to stop? Who would ask them? Who would educate them on that? So yun na nga yung isa nating dapat gawin is massive social media education. We're advocating that, no. Maraming kasing ganyan. Especially, di mo alam, somebody would post a photo of an old man when in fact 13-year-old lang pala yung nasa likod ng keyboard. So ang hirap Ang hirap yung sabihin mo tinitira si Joel ng kalaban, nung pala kakampi ko lang din. Di ba, ang hirap nun.
But just going back, because you mentioned at first that let's just let it be. That was your first statement. And then later on you say that we have to advocate social media education. So
education.
What is it? Are you worried about it? Are you not worried about it? Are you going to do something about it?
I mentioned social media education when I appeared before the Senate during the fake news hearing, on fake news, etc. So number one yun ano yung dapat maging siguro some sort of a responsibility mo as a netizen, sabihin na natin, educate them on, we have existing laws, no, anti-cybercrime, we have libel, etc. So, things like that, no, for people not to just attack anybody, no, at random or with impunity, etc. Because it happens talaga right now. Andiyan pa yung problema ng mga trolls na hindi naman talaga actual individuals, no.
So what is the task force doing about this environment that many people find threatening online?
Outside, well, yung social media as an environment is actually outside our jurisdiction unless ang na-threaten ay media worker.
So what will you do in that case?
You file a complaint before us, we act on them. In fact, iniisip ko lang kung sino yung case na yun. Basta you file a complaint, we will act based on your complaint. Gawin na lang para para mas malinaw.
Aside from the reactive response, how about preventive?
Preventive, we have so many proactive measures in place, no?
Okay.
It's like proactive in the sense na to prevent actual harm from happening, no? So ano yung mga proactive measures na yan? Number one nga is when you feel threatened, you come to us and then we'll secure you. Mas dangerous yung text, for instance. Text lang, because ang online threat can be seen by everybody. Can be seen by a lot of people.
Sir, may direct message din, Facebook, Viber.
Ang task force?
Hindi po. Threats can come also in the form of direct messages.
Exactly. Direct
Not just
messages. Not just comments. Or text messages nga. For, like in the case of Lourdes Escaros of RMN, text lang. O ikaw, pagkatapos mo dyan, ng programa mo, abangan kita sa ganito, ganyan. That was only a text message. Twice yata nangyari sa kanya. And then, through the NUJP, they filed a complaint with us, no, before us, and we investigated. We conducted an investigation, and that incident happened a year ago. So tapos since then, alana, because we had police officers securing Mrs. Caros that time while we were assessing the threat. So parang tinakot-takot lang talaga siya, no actual, walang nangyaring ano. But we immediately acted sa ganun. Meron pa ba? Yung others naman, through friends. Halimbawa, si Juan, hindi siya nagpa-file ng complaint. No? Hindi niya sinasabi. But si Pedro, who is his friend, sinabi sa atin. So, ginagawa natin, I got this information from Pedro that you, Juan, are being threatened by this and whoever. Ganon. Tapos nag-uusap na kami. So, anong gusto mong gawin natin? I can write a letter but against the person who threatened you. But first, please, fill this up. Yun kasi mahirap na madadali naman yung task force na, jurisdiction nyo dito? Bakit sumulat sa akin? Why are you tagging me as, di ba? Ganon ka busisi dapat. Ganon ka diligent. And all of us here have to be prudent with anything that we do. It might cost the life of another person, no. But if we're going back to the if we're going to act on all sorts of threats, no, mapupuno talaga tayo. So we just wait for people to tell us to actually lodge a complaint.
Okay, sir. Just a final question. The Committee to Protect Journalists came up with a report recently that showed that we had already dropped to 5th place in their Global Impunity Index. It's an improvement from the previous ranking, but it's still within the top 5.
Yes.
So can you explain why we're still there and what the task force is doing to improve the ranking?
All right. Thank you for that question. I was asked before if I was happy about it. Of course, I'm not. That we're still in the top 5, But it's a welcome development for us. In fact, CPJ cited the PT Forms, in their report, progress report nila yan, that from a stagnant number 4, kasi 2013 we were second. We used to be, I think, on the top years before. 2013, number 2. 2014, number 3. And for 2015 and 16, we stagnated on number 4. So, naging challenge yun. Remember that the CPJ data covered a 10-year period. So, meaning, their report for 2017 included cases that happened in 2007. No? So, from 2016 to 2017, we consider that as a marked improvement talaga, yung drop from 4 to 5. And we cannot overnight take off the Philippines from the list because of that 10-year period formula. Okay, so what we're looking at is this. By 2008 to 2018, that would be next year, we hope that we'd fall farther away from the top spot. If we're number 5 now, we're looking at sana number 6 na. And the next year, number 7 na, eventually hanggang sa mabala. Because we cannot take away nga the Philippines from the list because of the 10-year formula.
But aside from waiting for the year 2009 to drop from the study, what are the
projection lang naman natin yun.
What are the concrete ways you want to improve the ranking? I mean, aside from just waiting for the year
remember that the CPJ formula involves 5 cases that are unsolved. At least 5 cases that are unsolved. All right? So 5 pataas na unsolved, pasok ka sa list namin. Since we began working last year, we were able to solve each case that we handled. Probably not all, but almost all. No? By solve means na identify, nag-file, solve yon. Kasi hindi ka na facing a blank wall, whatever. You identified and you filed the case. Cleared pagka nahuli siya. So, solve lang yung pinag-uusapan. We were able to solve. Imagine kung masosolve, kung ang data natin is solved from 2017 up to 2027, 0 tayo sa ranking na talaga. So, however, in support of that effort, yung moving out, actually, no, not moving away, moving out of the list, yun nga, we're going back to the cases. For instance, we have to know the cases that happened between 2008 and 2018. If we can solve all the cases from 2008 to 2018, 0 yun. So, dapat wala na tayo sa list if we can do that. So, ganun lagi ang targeting. Ang pinakamalaki dyan, of course, yung Maguindanao Massacre. So, with the expected judgment on the 2 principal accused and 13 others who filed for decision na, kung mangyari na yan, by next year, we are hoping for a better ranking. Better means farther away from number 5. But of course, hindi naman yun ang target natin. Numbers lang yan eh. My ultimate goal here is that in 1 or 2 years, I should leave this office. Meaning...
obsolete na yung office. Is that what you're...
Exactly. Exactly. That's my point. In fact, during our inauguration, that was my speech. I hope that by a year or 2, I'm out of this office. Wala nang threats. Na-solve na lahat ng kwan. And okay na yun. Safer and freer environment ng Pilipinas for media workers.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your time. Right. So, we just wish you luck with all of the cases, and we really hope that some convictions can happen for many of these unsolved killings.
Let's hope that in 2 years, I'll be out of here.
Yeah. So, we were speaking with Undersecretary Joel Eco. Thank you for watching Rappler Talk. Again, I'm P. Renada, and see you again next time.